Spanish. They would SWAT you. One day I walked into a classroom, said some things in Spanish, and the teacher slapped me across the face in front of the whole class. I'm going to tell you, that was the day I decided to run for governor. I didn't know it then, but it was in my memory, my genetic memory. Ever since then, we get beaten down, we get told we're no good, we don't got no story, we don't got our histories in our history books, we don't got literature, we don't got Matt Cedillo books, we don't got Brianna Munoz books. We need to have these poets. Luis Resto is here. We need to have Cesar Avelar. We need to have these writers in our schools where people can read their stories and see their faces. And that's what I didn't have. And that's the reason I'm running for governor. It doesn't matter how many trauma, beaten downs I've had. I've been through a lot. But to me, and it's all in the book, by the way, but to me, what's important is we triumph over all of this. And I don't mean by denying or ignoring any of it, but to look at the source. Most all of it has nothing to do with us personally. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was wrong with us. Something was wrong with the system. And it's still wrong. You got people who are unhoused. Nothing's wrong with them. It's the system that threw them out of their homes. You got people mentally ill, but they're mentally ill not just because they might have chemical imbalances, but because of life imbalances. You know what I'm saying? They can't get a job, they can't work. There's so many people pressing them, knocking them down. These are the things that make us who we are, but we either are going to just get crushed by it, or we become poets, right? Or we become dancers or singers, or we become musicians, we become a flautist like Juan. You know, we become something beautiful. This is what my campaign's about, and this is what Always Running is about. I can say so much about it. Many of you have read the book. If you haven't, I recommend you read it, because it's the first book in big publishing. This is Simon & Schuster that tells the story of our gente from the barrio side of it. You know what I'm saying? And it came out a year after the LA uprising. And the only reason it got even paid attention because people uprose. People got out there. People were pissed off for generations at the way the police were getting away with beatings, at the housing that we were losing, at the rents that were going high. This is 30 years ago, and we're still going through it and worse. My book came out during that time, and people wanted to read it. And I gave ideas. In the end of this book, I have an epilogue. Ideas about what we should do to help our youth, to give them real recreation, to give them healthy relationships, to give them arts, to give them tools, give them resources. And to this day, we haven't done it. And people say, we don't know what we're doing. We have the answers. We know what to do. I put them down here because people told me what these answers were. People who were impacted. They got up and said, this is what we need to do. I know about what it takes to end gang warfare. Do we know how to end gang warfare? Yes, we do. Yeah. But they won't let us do it. Every time we tried, and my son was part of it, and others, we tried, they kept undermining us. They kept sabotaging us. I helped create with 40 leaders, gang interventionists, peace warriors, the effective community-based gang intervention model. It got adopted by the city of Los Angeles in 2008. And then they didn't do anything that we asked them to do. They sabotaged us. We have, in the state of Illinois, a restorative justice bill that got accepted in the legislature. They voted it in, and then they pushed it aside. We have changed things, and then they walk away. In Chicago, when I was there working with the gangs, and my son knows about this, I worked with people that created peace zones. It came out of the book, the idea that we can have peace zones. The whole idea was you get the gangs in certain areas, you work with the leaders and the youth, and you say to them, please stop the drugs, please stop the violence. But we will also get the community to step up and get you jobs, get you education, get you whatever you need. So we got gang leaders in several peace zones to agree. And then we went to the schools and they said, we have zero tolerance, we don't want gang kids here. We went to the parks. No, we don't want gang kids here. Zero tolerance. We went to the businesses. Can you hire some of these youth? No, we have zero tolerance. We even went to some of the churches. No, we have zero tolerance. I go, how can you have zero tolerance in the church? You know what I'm saying? We couldn't get nobody to help us. And then we wanted the police to stop harassing the youth. And we went to the police and they said, we ain't gonna stop. The youth didn't mess it up, the adults in that community messed it up. You understand what I'm saying? And it died, and gang violence got worse. I'm not trying to say these youth shouldn't be responsible. I'm not trying to put it on and say they're not. But I know that we have responsibility as a community, and we didn't come through. I will tell you something else. It's part of my book. Because I took this to El Salvador, I took it to Guatemala, I took it to Ciudad Juárez, Mexico. I took it to the most violent places in the world. And we had peace zones in El Salvador. From 2012 to 2013, I helped create 12 peace zones in the worst, most violent country at the time. Mara Salvatrucha and 18th Street. You know who they are? Killing each other, enemies. They were doing gardening and murals in the peace zones. They were giving them jobs. They were doing it, but guess what? I saw this with my eyes. I went to them, we talked to them, we gave them awards even. As soon as we left, the government came in with their body armor, their guns, and they went and undermined it and arrested all the people. There's no more peace zones in El Salvador. You understand what I'm saying? We can do this, but we're getting undermined by the government, we're getting undermined by the corporations, we're getting undermined by all the big people who make money off poverty, who make money off violence, who make money off gangs killing each other. You know what I'm saying? They're making money off of us. And we have to say no. We're done. We're done blaming ourselves and we're done feeling like bad, and we go and say, we got the answers, let's do it, let's make it happen. That's why I wrote Always Running. I wanted to tell this story, but I wanted us to be inspired and aspire to change the world that we're in. This is a world we need to change. Make it better, make it healthy, make it peaceful. People talk about public safety. We know how to do public safety, and it ain't more prisons and more police. We've been there. We've done that. And the bad thing about it is when there's a shooter in Texas and the police who had body armor since 2017, I'm telling you, that Uvalde City Police Department had body armor and other equipment to deal with shooters. They get confronted with the shooters, and what happened? They completely failed. They were scared to go in because they get shot. They let children get shot and killed. They stopped parents from going in there. It took a tactical force from the Border Patrol to come in there and stop that violence. You know what I'm saying? What good is it to give the police all this military equipment and everything else, and then when we actually need them, they're scared to go in there? But yet they will stop a kid in the corner and give him a hard time. You know what I'm saying? They will kill black motorists and others for nothing. We've seen it. I'm talking about a whole new world. This is what Always Running was about. A whole new world. I didn't just want to write about the problems. I didn't just want to write about the traumas and the pains, because we've been through them. Many of you have been through more. You can tell me stories. It wasn't just about that. It's about how do we turn trauma to transformation? How do we change so that people get transformed, get strong, and don't ever give up? I will have to say, me and my wife, Trini, and she's there. She's been my partner for 37 years. She grew up in this community. This is her barrio. She grew up in Pacoima. She went to Telfair Elementary School and San Fernando Middle School and graduated from San Fernando High School. She was a daughter of this community. And a few years ago, we had a big event for the Poor People's Campaign at Telfair, because Telfair has, it probably has more, 25% of their students homeless. See what I'm saying? How in the world is that going to happen? The school she went to, that my youngest son went to, how in the world is he got a quarter of the students there without a house? This is why we're doing what we're doing. Me and Trini have been at it for 50 years, still struggling. We've had our butts kicked. We've lost battles, we've lost soldiers, we've lost important leaders, but we're still at it. We don't give up. we get better, we get organized, we get smarter. Que no? Que no? Don't we get better and smarter if we keep at it? Yes, we made mistakes. Me and Trini made some, but guess what? We have created one of the most beautiful cultural spaces ever. It's right there, Tia Chucha Centro Cultural and Bookstore in this area. And everybody talks about Tia Chucha's because it's one of a kind and it's so community-minded. It's young people making it happen, using their creativity and going beyond what me and Trini even thought about. And I have to thank Trini because she sacrificed hour upon hour, sometimes 40, 60-hour weeks. She never got paid. Not that we didn't want to pay her. We couldn't pay her. It wasn't enough money to pay her. But guess what? She laid the groundwork for now Tia Chuchas to pay their staff, pay their youth, make sure that people get what they need. This is what building community is. And it all comes from these ideas. Yes, I told my story, but those ideas were already embedded and always running. Already embedded. Next year, 30 years this book has been out. 30 years. And I've been writing it, putting it together for 20 years before then. 50 years I've carried this story in my bones, you know what I'm saying? And it came out and it's got a purpose, and the purpose is to, again, inspire us to our value as people. And not let other people tell you what your value is. This is your world. This is your community. You can make it what you need to make it. And it will be peaceful, and it will be healthy, and it'll be strong. But we gotta make sure that we get government to align to that. We got government that's not connected to that. Government doesn't seem to care. We can't even get universal health care. We can't even get rid of poverty. We can't get rid of the environment. We're still polluted. LA still got the worst pollution of any city in the country practically. In other words, there's so much that we need to do, but we also have accomplished a lot. And that's what we're built from. That's why I'm running. Again, whatever happens June 7th, we're gonna win one way or the other. But it would be important for my voice to be the second highest vote getter so that I can challenge Governor Newsom the way he needs to be challenged, with real issues and real answers, with real dreams and real delivery. That's what the campaign's about, and that's what Always Running was about. And again, if whatever happens, we're gonna take it forward. I was just in the Central Valley. You all know the Central Valley, poorest part of the state. They used to call it the crystal meth capital of the United States. They has Prison Row 99, several prisons. It's run by Republicans mostly, but most of the people are Mexican, Central American, the laborers who are working, picking our fruit, picking our crops, and suffering and not getting paid while the agribusiness makes billions and billions of dollars. I was just there in a community in Kettleman City, me and Ramiro. No sidewalks, just like Pacoima. No street lamps, no street lights, no stop signs, no youth centers, nothing for youth to do. A library that's open 2 days out of the week and they want to close that down. No bookstores, no art galleries. You know what I'm saying? I might as well be talking about the Northeast Valley. This is California, the 5th largest economy, and we can have the basic needs met. That's why I wrote the book, and that's why I'm running. I don't want to say too much because you're all wonderful to be here, and I know there's more to be done. But I want you to keep supporting the poets, supporting the vendors here, support each other, and support my campaign. Give what you can. Get your friends to vote. I don't want to centralize an email list or nothing. I want it to be decentralized. Go to your friends, go to your social media, go out there. I know I have the odds against me. I don't even show up in the polls. No mass media is talking about me. They're all saying that Governor Gavin Newsom's got it in the bag. Nobody's going to do nothing because he's going to win. We're going to have to change that. We're going to have to tell them, listen, you're not paying attention. There are real people out here that want to be heard. I want to be the second highest vote getter so I can take them on the way it should be done. So you understand? So I don't want to say too much more. I love you all. I love you all. This book took a lot of effort, a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifice. It was written for my son, as you know, who ended up in a gang in Chicago, got very active in that gang. I know you look at him now, he's a very positive person. You heard him read poetry, he does danza, he's a positive person. He's got a lot of beautiful spirit out there. He's been helping my campaign, but we should have known him then. He was a rough kid, I'm not playing. He ended up doing close to 15 years in prison. This is no joke, you understand? But he's transformed. We stood by him through everything. Through all the pain, we stood by him, and look at him now. I got a granddaughter, his oldest daughter, who's in prison now. 28 years old. On crystal meth for about 6 years. She doesn't need prison. She needs help. She needs treatment. They're putting her in prison. We're going to stand by her too. We're going to stand by her through everything. We're never going to give up on my granddaughter. But we got to not give up on anybody. Let's fight for all of us. Let's fight for all our kids. I don't want to use my granddaughter as a terrible thing. It's going to be, we'll fight for her just like we fight for all of you. Let's fight for all our kids. Make sure none of them get lost in the big swing of things. So thank you all very much. Please keep fighting for these things. Don't let anybody dissuade you. Democrat, Republican, neither one of them are going to help you. I'm not against particular Democrats or particular Republicans even. I am against the corporate controlled two-party system. You know what I'm saying? That don't help nobody. We create another way. Create other parties. The Green Party, the Peace and Freedom Party, and the Justice Party have united to support me and others in this slate. Why? To bring us together, to unite. But we're not uniting just on parties. This is nonpartisan. This is about our goals, our aims, and our struggles and our issues, our answers. That's what we're fighting for. Thank you all very much. I love you all. Muchas gracias a todos. Laza Kamati. Thank you for being here.